Welcome back to the Sharehouse podcast.
We've properly f***ed off the people of Ireland and we're going to get to the bottom of why. So Joel, the other week we had William Boyd on the podcast and we discussed and launched a series of reels around the Irish exit. I don't want to say goodbye to everyone individually, so I always just do the communal wave.
Do any of you ever do the Irish exit at a party?
All the time.
Do explain what the Irish exit is. I'm not
Just
aware.
pissing off.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I saw them on my Instagram.
They popped off.
Great.
Well, you know what? They popped off on TikTok. It's weird. Every week it's different on different platforms, but TikTok pop off.
Okay, I've not seen the TikTok. I've been told to keep silent or keep distant from the TikTok website until today.
Let me read you some comments. I'll start with the chill ones.
Please hit me.
But the Irish had some things to say about the Irish exit. From Cathal Kelly, a very Irish name to start off strong. Irish exit is usually say goodbye to everyone twice, stay for another half hour, and then piss off later after tea. But then Liam hits us. I'm assuming like a Liam Gallagher or some sort of Irish name like that.
Yeah, of course.
When do Irish people leave without saying anything? 10 likes.
Yeah, okay.
Then that's just a subtle one. And then Liam again. two different comments.
Two Liams, okay.
Where do these Americans get Irish exit from? Cry emoji. To which I responded, I don't think you've ever heard an American accent before. Because I like to think our accents are very ochre. You know, it's all in our ear.
Yeah, but maybe the idea of the Irish exit came from America.
Yeah, he did respond with that.
Now that we had the William Boyd episode, I've been hearing it in my everyday life.
Yeah.
Like, I watched a short film the other day, and it was about these dudes at a party, and the one dude was like, oh yeah, I think he Irish exited. And it's like, so I'm like, oh, so that clearly is a thing.
It's a commonplace expression. It's like the Irish have never heard it before, though. It's like we've been just saying it behind their back, and we're the first guys to put it out to the world.
Yeah.
But you're saying that they've done it in the movies, so I don't know about that.
Oh, that was just an indie short film about American party boys, so who knows?
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the big Hollywood's too scared to put it out like we've brazenly done.
Damn, we're the headline for this.
There's one more. Yeah. Luke Murphy said, the Irish thing, I'm not going to do that. That's going to get them even more mad. The Irish exit isn't an Irish thing. Saying I'll head now over the span of 3 hours and then finally leaving after having said goodbye to everyone and their dog is the Irish exit. So
okay.
I thought, I've got a couple of things that we can do because we've obviously offended a nation.
Have you done any recon?
Well, that's what I was thinking. We do right now. I'm going to look up, what is the Irish exit? I'm just going to look up, I'm going to put in the Google, Irish exit.
Are we wrong? Or are the Irish wrong?
I'd like to think the Irish are wrong. Okay, first thing that pops up from Reader's Digest. An Irish exit is when you leave a social situation, in brackets, a party, a larger gathering, for example, without saying goodbye to your host or to other guests.
Wow. Okay. Let's get a second opinion on that one.
Okay, what is the origin of the Irish exit? Is another one. Would you like to read this one?
From Babbel.com magazine. In an interview with Quartz, linguist Natalie Liberman says that the original version of the Irish goodbye comes from the English, who called it French leave. Oh. As in, he took French leave. This phrase can be... Okay, it doesn't actually tell me what the phrase is. No,
that's not a great one. The French leave.
Because it's asking what is the origin of the Irish exit.
Okay, so maybe we want to keep more moving here.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the difference between French and Irish exit? Maybe now we're going down the rabbit hole, though. This is good. A French leave, sometimes French exit, is... Irish goodbye or Irish exit is a departure from a location or event. The exact same thing.
Okay, without informing others or without seeking approval. Wow.
Now, this one is interesting, though. How do Irish people say goodbye?
Oh, that's
this is
the
not
language.
This
is not what we want. Go down to the Urban Dictionary. Irish exit. That you missed it.
Oh, there's already. Oh yeah, got you.
That's a definitive source. The act of bailing on your friends at a party or activity without telling them. Okay, so I think we're kind of like it's. Even if we did make an assumption on what it means and all these things are making an assumption, like it's backed up by the first page of Google. So
yeah.
I feel like we can't be blamed for this.
No, I think the Irish need to come to grips with the fact that they're flaky bastards. That being
don't want to
said,
say goodbye. I know a lot of Australian Irish exodus. I mean, it's a thing. It's had an impact on the world. Nothing to be ashamed of.
or everything to be ashamed of. That being said, I'm still in the business of reconciliation.
Yes.
And I know you are too, so I've asked you to prepare something. Could you tell the people what I've asked you to prepare?
You have. Mikey frantically messaged me in the middle of the night. Was like, don't look at our TikTok. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you about it on air. But also, please list your top 5 Irish things.
Yeah, because we appreciate the people of Ireland, and we just want to let them know that, yeah, okay, we've outed you with the Irish exit, but we're still one with your people. So I thought we'd go one for one and give our top 5 things about Ireland.
All right.
Would you like to start us off?
I would. I wrote them on a piece of paper 20 minutes ago. I love their use of grand. And I've recently interpreted it into my own vocabulary, where if someone says like, "Oh, I'm making pasta for us tonight," and you're like, "Grand."
Oh, that sounds grand. Yeah, awesome.
Sounds grand.
Grandiose would be the etymology of that word, right?
That's where I've gone. That's where I've departed from Ireland.
Grand. That's grand. Okay.
Grand.
Love that. My number 1.
You're number 1. Huh?
Conan O'Brien.
Is he from Ireland, huh?
Yeah, he's 100% Irish. Great podcast. I'd say he's put Ireland on the map.
Shout out Conan.
Definitely wasn't haggis.
Come on our podcast if you want.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Be nice. Number 2 for you.
All right, number 2. In no particular order.
Sure.
This is just number 2.
Same.
There are Irishmen in the movie The Departed. I think that's a really good movie.
Yeah,
It's got Irish representation.
Yeah.
And I don't think the movie would be the same without it.
Isn't there a movie called The Irishman as well? No.
There is,
Yeah?
but I'm not shouting that movie out.
I'll shout out to The Departed.
No shade, Marty Scorsese. If you want to hit me up.
No, we're Marvel fans. Screw you,
No,
Scorsese.
I'm
Marvel fans.
I'm going to thread at Scorsese, see if he comes back to me.
2.
Follow our threads.
My number 2, my friend Niall. He's technically not Irish, but he's got an Irish accent. He's from Scotland, but he sounds Irish.
I feel like that is an offensive point. I don't think the Irish like being compared to the Scottish accent-wise.
I think they need to start discerning accents then.
All right, well, if we're going to go Irish hate, my next point...
Yeah.
I don't actually have any hate, but I did write the accent is pog.
Yeah, sick. That's one of my points as well. So this is good.
Let's go.
There we go. Number 4 for me, a glass of Baileys. Bit of Irish cream down the gullet. That's the way to get drunk for me. I know I'm violently lactose intolerant. That's why I've run out.
I see is that not a bottle of it? Okay,
No.
move on.
I've run out because the last time I had it was a messy night. Not talking about like vomiting or anything. It was not good.
Oh, I got something to tell you about the weekend. Anyway,
Ooh.
my number 4 is
Saucy.
the Banshees of Inisherin movie is set on an island in Ireland.
Ooh, an island in Ireland. Say that 5 times faster.
Island. Yeah, so that's I really enjoyed that film. I saw it in the cinema. It was good.
I think we're really starting to bridge gaps here.
I think we've made complete... we're now harmonious with the Irish.
I'm not even done yet. I've still got 2 more.
You got 6? I'm not reading. I just saw you had 6.
Well, yeah, I wanted to really repair the damage we've done. Number 5.
Ally.
St. Patrick.
That's the one I thought of doing that. I
Yeah?
was thinking of it about it going to bed and I forgot it. That was one I forgot.
You know much about St. Patrick?
I know nothing about St. Patrick.
Didn't know that it was a 5th century Romano-British Christian missionary and a bishop in Ireland, known as the
go.
Apostle of Ireland. He is the primary patron saint of Ireland, the other patron saints being Bridget of Kildare and Columba. I think it might have been Columbia. I'm not sure if that's spelt wrong or not. He is credited, this is my favourite part, as a very staunch, non-religious person, but still big ups religion. He is credited with bringing Christianity to parts of Ireland.
Let's go. I love 4-leaf clovers.
Yeah.
Dude, we should thread about this. This is crazy.
Number 5, 4-leaf clover.
No, I didn't. Did you write that?
Well, no, that's yours. Then I'll
Oh, no. My number 5 is shepherd's pie.
Oh, very
Apparently that's
strong.
Irish. That's
Okay.
what Google told me today.
That's a really strong one.
Yeah.
I'll cap up with number 6, which is your number 4, I believe, which is, I'm a big fan of the accent.
Yeah.
The YouTuber Jacksepticeye
Yeah.
is I believe Irish. I don't watch
Irish,
Jack. I'm actually not a fan, but I like the cut of his jib. You know, I think he's really got something
Not a
going
fan
on.
of Jack, huh?
No.
What if that hurts his feelings?
Well, he's got like 20 million subscribers. He'd be okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he needs to learn about Sharehouse anyway.
He probably does, but I also think he's probably a mogul that owns like 30 share houses.
Yeah, probably some of the ones we'll live in our lifetime.
Wouldn't that be nice? You know, everyone talks about, like we talked about the rental crisis with Fergus Neal. You can go check out that episode in your own time, friends, but stick on this one right now.
Yeah.
We talked about the
that
rental
retention
crisis. It was like, oh, people shouldn't be owning so many homes. You know, it's dog for everybody. If I had millions of dollars, I would have houses all over the world.
Yeah, there is a
baby.
reason why it is a crisis and shit's gone so wrong. No, I know someone who used to live in a property owned by Daniel Radcliffe.
Whoa!
So like people buy down here. It's valuable land in Melbourne, Australia.
Imagine Daniel Radcliffe. Like, I know he's
Is
probably
your
charging
landlord?
like $1,000 a week, but imagine Daniel Radcliffe's like, hey, yeah, just $200 this week, champ. Don't worry about it. You used extra water, but I'll cover that for you. It's me,
Yeah.
Harry Potter. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's the end of Irish reconciliation. If you're Irish, reach out if you feel like that was enough. And if it wasn't enough, I think that's more of a representation on you than us. Because
Yeah.
we've given you 12 points.
Yeah,
In total,
pretty
we know
strong.
we added some extras.
11.
Well, you had
and
the
then we
other-
had a double up, so that's 10.
Yeah, but you had the Irish, the four-leaf clover.
Oh, true. Yeah, all right, we'll go with 11.
I'm not
And I
saying there
would
were 12
say,
different points.
I
They're 12
have
points.
such a distinct memory from my childhood. I was really sick at about 8 years old or something, and my father made me shepherd's pie. And I turned to him, I'm like, Father, this is probably the only thing I could have even thought of stomached eating on that day. And I like to think that shepherd's pie saved my life, and by extension, the Irish did.
Bit of St. Patrick in that for sure.
Yeah.
Bit of Christianity
I'd put
spreading
him in my
across the
mouth.
nation. You did put it
Delicious.
in your mouth.
I did.
Yeah. I'd say you've got some catchphrases. I'd say I'd put it in my mouth is the most confusing one you have, especially in the context of you're talking about eating food and you'd say I'd put it in my mouth.
Yeah.
I'd say that's the way, like the place where oddly it doesn't work, even though contextually it makes sense.
No, but like think about the things you put in your mouth, right?
Sure.
What kind of emotions do you attach to things you put in your mouth?
Mostly happiness, I'd say. Sure.
Exactly. So if I'm a big fan of St. Pat,
Yeah.
put him in my mouth.
You put him in your mouth. I like some things. For example, love Robert Downey Jr. in Sherlock Holmes 1 and 2.
Yeah.
A fantastic performance. But in that movie, he's kind of grubby, set in the older days where I'm sure showers probably weren't at their prime. And I just don't think I'd want to put that stinky man in my mouth. The same example as Iron Man when he's just floating through space in the later Avengers movies.
you put plenty of grubby things in your mouth that you enjoyed.
Wow. And that's been the Sharehouse podcast.
All right, next segment. Go Sting.
Oh yeah, what's the next one? That's
Zach
life
Stone.
updates. Do you want me to sing a segment? I don't want to make a new Sting. I'm gonna be
All
honest.
right,
with you.
sing.
I just bought a new car yesterday. I got no
That
time.
sapped all the hours of his day. He's got none for more Sting.
Do you want a beatbox and I'll do a Sting over the top so we don't have to produce it?
Okay.
Okay. Life updates. Life updates. Joel's got life updates.
I do have life updates. I'm still searching for a home, which I think I touched on in a couple of weeks ago
Yeah,
on the
and
bi-weekly Joel and Mike.
I said to you, Joel, you can't be complaining about not having a new home if you haven't even looked at new homes yet.
I have since looked at lots of new homes. I've been to a lot of inspections. And my God, is it exhausting. It's a very exhausting time. I kind of hate it. But
You okay right now? You seem like you're getting a lot choked up. You're freezing up.
I'm trying to burp myself because I had this pizza before recording, and
You're
like
not
it's
keeping
all.
that
It's all
in. You are not keeping.
no, just bleep it out. We'll just bleep it.
You're not keeping you burping yourself
No,
in the podcast.
We'll bleep it. It's fine.
Imagine the auditory listeners going.
We'll bleep it.
It's
Don't
like a
worry.
Rick and Morty episode.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So I've been to plenty of inspections.
Sure.
And it's
How many? Just to give me peace of mind here.
Probably about 9.
Whoa!
Probably about 9 inspections.
It's only been 2 weeks since the last recording.
Well, that's the thing. I've taken time off work, and like I
Wow.
just have my days free. And you like generally stack up a few inspections in a day.
Let's go through another list then. Okay, quick fire round. Your top 3 things you like about looking at new homes, and your top 3 things that you hate looking at new homes.
It's exciting.
Yep.
To like see a home and like get
Sure.
a giddy feeling like this could be it. And that's all really. Because
Really,
it's
there's
like
nothing else.
Well, like, what would there be apart from like seeing the home being like, this could be my home? Because then apart from that, you're like waiting, you're like putting together an application, you're spending time driving around to houses in the middle of the day,
True.
most of which have not been good. There's been very few diamonds in the rough. So like really the only good thing has been when a house does click.
Yeah.
Oh, and if the inspection agent or the real estate are nice.
Which is
so far they have been
rare. Oh, they've been good most of the
yeah,
time?
yeah. They're there to like answer your questions and like,
Sure.
especially the not great properties I saw. I mean, they're very willing to be indulged about the property because I
Yeah.
want to sell it. You know.
Yeah, okay.
I think I got lucky enough. That's the thing. You got to really take opportunities when you see them. Like there was a house that I really, really liked. And I talked to the agent afterwards, and we kind of like, he was like, yeah, apply by the end of the week. We'll review it over the weekend. I was like, sick. Went to my second inspection of the day. It was the same dude. So I'm like, oh shit, now here's my chance to make a rapport with this guy. So I was the only one who rocked up to this inspection, and we had like a conversation and a chat, and he was like, I won't lie to you, this property has some problems with it that we're very aware of, and he kind of gave me a little tour around, and like I didn't really like it, but
Yeah.
I played along.
Yeah, you gotta play the game. I respect
and that was my last inspection of the day. But then he was like, I've actually got this other property around the corner that I'm going to in half an hour. Do you want to come look at that too? And I'm like, of course I'm going to look at that because I'm trying to impress you because I want that
Yeah.
first house. So I went and saw the third house, way out of my price range, and it was like not my vibe at all. But after that, he was like, yeah, no, if you want to apply for the first one, I'll see it over the weekend. I'll shortlist you. And to that, I was like, done.
Cool. So
like
tip number one is network with the landlord,
You gotta
even if or the real
network.
estate agent. Even if
Yeah.
you don't want to, you gotta become friends with these greasy head buffs. You gotta.
They're not all greasy head. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna stick to character on this Sharehouse podcast. I don't actually know, but this man was really nice to me, so I'm
Okay.
kind of I'd fight for him. But I don't know what he's like in his home life or his work life.
I'm just thinking purely on the VO5 Garnier products that they threw through their hair. I don't know if they're greasy by business trade. I'm just talking.
They got to
purely
shampoo
about
every
scalp
day.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Otherwise,
That's
it's
huge.
they got to shampoo twice a day with the amount that Garnier is demanding from their
How
hair.
often are you conditioning realistically? Okay, so that's one takeaway is
Yeah.
you kind of have to just put aside a week of life to be able to take the opportunities that come. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, kind of, but it's probably different in some places, but in Melbourne right now, it's so tough to find somewhere good, and when you do, like at that house that I really liked, the first one I went to, there were like probably 5-6 different parties of people there inspecting it. The other two properties I went to, zero.
Ooh.
0 people.
So it wasn't as flooded as we're thinking it is due to like social media reporting.
I don't know, like like the good ones are being snatched up,
Yeah.
and if they're mediocre, then yeah, people aren't gonna turn up for like. I think people have standards, and
Okay.
if you don't have standards and you have a good income and like a history of people that can say you're good, you can probably get a place. It just might like not be great.
Yeah, gotcha.
Like it's just hard to get a good place.
Okay. So currently, just for full disclosure, give the people a little insight into our lives. You're
Yeah.
currently waiting
I'm
to
currently
get to hear
yeah.
back.
I am waiting.
You're in the
to hear
lurch.
back. A little bit more on the past bit though. My previous housemate Lachlan Chatfield was also looking for a home, and he scooped one up pretty quick
He did
just because he was
too.
really on it.
Yeah.
And there weren't many people going to the inspections that he was going to, so it also just depends on the area you're looking, I think.
Sure.
But yes, I'm currently waiting on this application. And just today, I was talking to a friend on the phone, and I was explaining to them that I feel nervous because like they should have told me by now, but I'm like don't know if I should call and like come off as naggy and like give
Yeah.
a negative connotation to our application. But she was like, nah, you should call. I've heard people in the past who've gotten their applications sent like approved and gone through because they have called and followed up and said they were really keen.
It's such a fine line between being excited and persistent and showing initiative and being needy and annoying.
Yeah.
And as anxious fellas, and I think most of our age demographic is anxious, it's so hard to know which side of the line you're teetering on.
I know.
I'm currently left in the lurch as well. I can't talk about what I'm being left in the lurch for, but I am one bad decision away from a phone call saying, "Hey, how you going? What's that? Anyways, so have I got it yet?"
Yeah, right.
And it's a heartache, and I totally empathize with you on that one. I think with real estate agents, though, the idea of scaring off a real estate agent, probably not. If the volume is as high as people are saying it is at the moment in terms of applications, then probably being the polite person says, "Hey, great to meet you the other day. Just wanted to follow up with this one. I've put all my applications in. If it's still available,
exactly.
would love to know."
Yeah.
I think that's a fair
My
takeaway.
friend Nina, who I was on the phone with, who gave me this advice, she was like, very much, it's the way you kind of frame it. Like, so I called today, and I am so glad I did, and I would recommend it, because Nina was also telling me a story about her friend who called, and the people they were originally going to get for that property fell through. So because they called and said they were still keen, they were like, "Oh, great, we'll go with this candidate because we know that they're still keen."
Yeah,
so I called
sure.
with framing it like, "Hey, how's everything going? Just following up on this one, letting you know we're still really keen, and if you need anything, like," and they did end up telling me, "Oh, we're still waiting on a rental reference for this dude." So I was like, "Oh, okay, so I've sorted that this afternoon, and they should have everything now." So I'm very glad that I called and got the update and let them know that it's still keen, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
This is an audio-based podcast, Joel. You know we can't do
We'll
that.
see what happens. I'll note that. I got to check the edit twice. Maybe 3 times.
Just watch the episode once is all you have to do, Joel. We've got a baseline
Where's
level
my
of production
pen?
value
Where's
here.
my pen?
Just watch the
Sorry.
episode once. I think the overlying theme there is that it's okay to check in for things that you're passionate about. I think it's just the way you go about it.
Yeah, and just making sure that you are prepared enough that you don't have to call twice. Like the first call can kind of get, like, what's going on. Like, I don't feel like I have to call back because I feel like I got everything I need, and they know that we're keen and they have that.
Have your questions written down so you don't feel like you've wasted a phone call, because then you're needy if you call back twice in one day, and that's
double call
toughie.
someone, that's like quadruple texting.
Yeah, I struggle all the time with people not responding to me, especially in like the DJ biz. Everyone's so busy, and there's so many DJs and other artists just throwing out messages all the time. And I'm the guy that'll message so frequently, and I feel so annoying. It is awful. But hey, Joel, hit the fan mail sting.
Fan mail with the Sharehouse pod. It's Joel and Mikey answering fan mail. Sharehouse pod with answering fan mail. Yeah!
Didn't realize it, audience, but we had to dance in silence to that one, so that's fun. Here's a fan mail that was left on a reel that was uploaded the other day. Jackie Hatton was on the pod.
Hatton, huh?
For the Pet Peeve was the podcast title, with Illfection, also known as Jackie Hatton. If you haven't checked out the episode, go suss it out. Fantastic episode. We talk about animals within the Sharehouse environment. And in this episode, Jackie spoke about how if you've got a housemate that owns an animal, it's the best situation for you because you get the opportunity to have a pet in the house without having no obligation to look after the pet. Also, we think. For the comment said... This is from Coffee Meets Carnival. It says, "Lol, I had a roommate whose dog ruined all my furniture with pee. Pooped everywhere and she never cleaned up after it. She only came to let the dog out and feed it once a day, and otherwise the dog would cry and bark in its crate. I would let it roam the house, obviously because I'm not a monster, but that dog was neglected by my roommate. You will assume responsibilities if they do not."
Wow.
And I think that's so fair, putting yourself in Coffee Meets Carnival's position.
I saw that this morning. I was like, I hope you got that one for this, because that's a strong comment.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are, it doesn't sound like that this roommate was a friend. It sounds like it might have been a roommate who was just like an acquaintance.
Yeah.
And like, because I think when you move in with people, especially if they have pets, there's like a level of trust you need to have with them, I think. And if you don't know if it's a stranger with a pet, it's like you have no idea how they treat animals in general. I think.
What if it was like a person that hit their dog when the dog got angry, like they slapped it?
Exactly. Well, it's kind of the same thing. It's neglect.
Yeah.
And it's affecting everybody. And it's just that whole thing of like choosing your housemate still. And it's like, some people do have to move out with initially strangers, and that is a gamble to take.
Yeah.
I would say that it's more of a gamble to move out with strangers with pets, because it could be a situation like that, and you just don't know. You have to like inspect and make sure of that. And if you have a roommate who wants to get a pet, you kind of really have to lay out the boundaries before they get the pet, I guess.
Yeah.
like being like you don't let it piss and shit everywhere. Like,
Because not everyone's going to be like Jackie Hatton where they're on top of it and are on top of having a dog and the responsibilities that come with that. You're right. Some people could just... It's like how you see in the shopping centre, right? You see that mum and you can hear her from a mile away, or the dad. And you see him from a mile away just... Chris, I will not take this. We'll go home. You fuck. And it's like that you're talking to a 3-year-old. And you think... There should be laws on who should have kids, right? Because you shouldn't have a kid. And I think it's the same with animals. Like, some people get it because they think, oh, it's so fun to have a companion. You're not ready for that responsibility.
Yeah. But
you're not ready for that child. No, who are we? We are smart enough individuals to know, hey, mother wearing G-Star Raw trackies and yelling at your 3-year-old child while you're half puffing a dart and the other hand's hitting the other kid. It's like, no, stop puffing the dart in front of your kids. Stop kicking your kids. You shouldn't have kids. I'm sorry, no. We should have laws about that.
but who are we to tell you how to parent, huh?
Oh, no, 23 or 24-year-old Mikey with no kids should tell you. I
No.
find it so shocking, and we see it so often in society.
Yeah.
Or someone that's like out with their dogs and the dog's just like sniffing another dog and the person just yanks the dog by the lead. He's like, no, Boris, no! I'm so sorry about him. It's like, the dog's smelling another dog. That is what a dog would do. What?
You take a lot more notice of people than I do when I'm
what do
out.
you do? Just float around your little
Hey,
cloud
I'm on
nine?
a f***ing mission. If I'm going to the supermarket, I'm like getting my bananas. I'm getting out of that stinky place, bro.
You know what I am?
in
I'm a
and
bloody
out.
vigilante. I'm like Batman.
Right. You stick around. You f***ing loiter. I get it. It's fine.
I sit in the corner, top of shelves, in
judging
my
people.
black garments with my cape, and I pounce. I steal children, and I leave them at the local daycare center if that parent doesn't deserve the child. We have stern words.
Yeah, great.
For legal
Grand.
purposes, that is satire. So
But in Jackie Hatton's case, I think she had the track record of having the dog before she moved in with Damien Vosk, giving Damien Vosk the confidence that Jackie Hatton treats her dog all right, because I've seen it with my own
that's
two
true.
ears.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
And that circles back to the point of moving out with people you know is a lot easier and probably better in the long run. But then we've also made the point before that moving out with people you know could end the relationship.
Yeah.
So all of it's a double-edged sword. All of it's a gamble. I think moving out with pets is a toughie.
We touched on it in the episode, but I think it is a tough one because either way, you will be lapping up some responsibility over the animal just because you'd occupy a space with it. You can't dig a trench and not allow the animal over the trench. Like, it's not going to listen to you, bro.
It's an animal. Yeah, you're trying to tame a wild beast. Brings me to the Jackie Hatton episode. We do episode recaps here on the Sharehouse podcast every bloody second Thursday. So I thought we'd start with the Jackie Hatton pet peeve episode. Kind of just go through our thoughts, what we're feeling afterwards.
Those were kind of my thoughts.
There was most of your thoughts? Sure.
Yeah.
I had a note.
Hit me with a note.
My note was, I think I talk too much. And this is a vulnerable point, so be nice. But would you think, after me, I edit the episodes after you do your edit, and then I do the reels, and I happen to realize I do a lot of talking. True or false?
I didn't notice it. Sure, you talked a lot, but I didn't notice it as like a point of hindrance in the episode.
Okay.
Because the episode was kind of, hey, Mikey, why don't you want a pet in your home? Which opened up a lot of explaining for you to do.
Yeah.
Because you took the stance of, no way, Jose, I could never see that happening.
Sure.
And Jackie Hatton rebutting with a lot of good questions about like how you keep a girlfriend around, for example.
That's a fact.
It opens
Yeah.
up to a lot of discussion from you, and you have to kind of sit there and defend yourself. So I didn't see. I mean, I could listen to it again if you want me to, but I didn't see a point of hindrance in
I'll
that.
take that. Thank you. I think it's a weird line. This is very niche podcast. Host content
Anxieties
here.
with Joel and Mikey.
The thing that I always think about is you're hosting a podcast, right? And
Yeah.
so there is a lot of talking that needs to be done to fill out the 32 an hour minutes we're talking about here. But in case you
That's
didn't
the
realize,
technical term in the industry.
but then there's monologuing and then there's talking, and I think I'm weary of some podcasts I listen to, and I think, oh God, stop talking, let the other person talk.
Yeah. I think there's a difference between when it's your turn to talk, and you jump in when it's your turn to talk. What shits me about all these late night TV shows is the host is literally cutting off the guest.
Yes.
Like they're stepping over their words and shoving their way into the conversation.
Make it about themselves.
And it's like,
yeah.
no, that's not what we do on the Sharehouse podcast.
No.
We let guests speak. Sorry.
Hey, you got to show your emotions, man.
That's my emotions expressed to the world.
My second point was
right about that.
I've been with Tara's dog Billy more often since that episode. And I'm realizing I was right and I was wrong because Billy's cute. And I knew that, but I'm loving it. I'm loving having the puppy around. She's very sweet. It just gives you a little bit of entertainment, a bit of company. But I'm also realizing as well that having a dog changes your social life.
Yeah.
And an obvious one, but something to think about as well that people might just not think about more, in that we went out the other night to a drag show and Billy was barking at home, and that's another issue, but she's starting to stop barking. We're doing counteractive measures, but we have to plan, okay, if we're going to go out and we're going out for longer than, let's say, 11, 12, like Billy's going to get worried and it's unfair on the animal. So do we drop the dog off at somebody else's house to dog sit for the night? And you kind of have to plan these things through if you're going to do anything.
Yeah, wow.
It's just an extra little thing that you have to think about. And it's easy to navigate around, but still a thing.
Yeah. It's just a whole other world of things that you need to kind of be aware of that could happen by owning an animal. Like, it's all part of the responsibility.
Sure.
Like, I wish my neighbors next to my parents' house took the same measures that you and Tara are taking, because their dog barks whenever there is nobody in the house. The dog barks all day and all night.
Yeah.
It's infuriating.
Yeah, it is. It is for the whole neighborhood. And how do you say to someone, hey, get your shit together, get your dog trained? Like Billy, we've had to take a lot of counteractive measures.
Yeah.
With her, trying different trees, tying different balls, different toys, different setups for her so she's comfortable.
Could
Bought
you
a
put
camera.
that in a PDF for me so I can print it, put it in the mailbox?
I'm happy to go
That'd be
talk to your neighbor for you. It's okay.
That'd be good.
My last point, Jackie was great. Just a really great guest. And I really enjoyed Jackie's input and comedic timing. Just the whole thing was really lovely to listen back to.
Yeah.
And we get that with a lot of our guests. I just pointing out with Jackie was specifically like a very lovely guest.
Yeah, no, she was. And we had the Radio Mike interview as well.
Oh,
and it's just
yeah.
like, I think if you're like Radio Mike, I could very much see him be a staple of this show, because he's always great to have. He's a very well-seasoned podcaster, presenter, just speaker in general. Great to have a conversation with. Very much enjoyed the dive into his life.
And so interesting going from an episode like the Wedgie War, where it was the stupid one of the more stupid episodes we've done.
Yeah.
And the way we just flipped up like that, 'cause we recorded them all on the same day, to something so candid, talking about life as creatives and talking about consistency and whatnot. It was so interesting to have that complete mood shift.
Yeah.
And it was nice.
Aw, ain't that sweet?
And I believe that's the bi-weekly wrap-up. Put it there.
Put it there, Michael.
Did you have fun today?
I had lots of fun. I hope Ireland like us again.
I was thinking that, and I don't think they do.
Hey, if you're from Ireland, make sure you tell someone you love them today.
If you're anybody else, go f*** yourself.
Hello, the Sharehouse pod listener. This is William Boyd. I'm currently in France. You have disrupted my holiday because apparently we're upset at my use of the term Irish exit, which is what I've always been told it is. Sorry to any Irish people that have taken offence to this. I'm very sorry if this has targeted you. I will no longer use the term Irish exit. I'll just use the term speedy exit. But I love Ireland. I do. And I am passionate about my love for Ireland. I love all things Irish. I love haggis. I love kilts. I love the bagpipes. All things Ireland. You have a great festival, fringe festival, that happens every year. I love Ireland. So, my love goes out to all the Irish people. We're now changing the name to Speedy Exit. Thank you.